A brief timeline of the French New Wave. Following the end of World War II, France will slowly start to rebuild and come to terms with the war that has ripped the country apart. It provides fertile ground for the growth of existentialist philosophies, as well as imports of movies from the golden age of American cinema. And onto this stage will step several dynamic film critics, writers and directors who will stoke a rebirth in French cinema that will change the medium forever. In 1951, the French film critic André Bazin founds Cahiers du Cinéma, a monthly film magazine in which many great critics and filmmakers will find a platform to express their views on cinema. In 1954, a young François Truffaut writes the article, A Certain Tendency of French Cinema. In it, he criticizes the status quo of French filmmaking as being homogeneous and falling back on literary adaptations. He instead suggests that the true author of a film should be the director. In 1957, Françoise Giroud, writing in L'Express, coins the term La Nouvelle Vague, or the New Wave, to refer to the young French generation that will take the country forwards. In 1959, François Truffaut's The 400 Blows is released at the Cannes Film Festival to great fanfare. The film, a coming-of-age drama about a young rebel who struggles with various institutions of the day, represents the rebellious, creative spirit of the French New Wave. The following year, in 1960, Jean-Luc Godard releases Breathless, a crime drama that makes revolutionary use of jump cuts and voiceover to contribute to a unique cinematic language. Later that year, Godard will also direct Le Petit Soldat, his first collaboration with actress Anna Karina. Along with Jean-Paul Belmondo, Jean-Pierre Léaud, and several others, this group of actors will go on to form a sort of French New Wave star system, who will regularly collaborate with the various directors of the movement. In 1962, American film critic Andrew Sarris makes the first use of the term auteur theory, in referring to the French New Wave of directors. Later that year, left-bank filmmaker Agnes Varda releases Cleo from 5 to 7 at the Cannes Film Festival. The film unfolds in real time as we follow singer Cleo for 2 hours in her life as she waits to receive the test results for a possible cancer diagnosis. In 1965, Jean-Luc Godard releases Pierrot le Faux. Shot in dazzling Technicolor, the film is a French New Wave take on the Bonnie and Clyde story, as two lovers steal a lot of money and make a dash from Paris to the south of France. It's a film full of experimental editing, fourth wall breaks, and beautiful French landscapes. And in my personal opinion, this film marks the pinnacle of the French New Wave. In 1967, Jean-Luc Godard releases Le Weekend, a satirical take on the bourgeoisie of France, and Truffaut releases Stolen Kisses, a more sympathetic take on that same class. These films arguably marked the beginning of the end of the French New Wave, as Godard's films become increasingly focused on far-left politics, while Truffaut's style moved more towards episodic character pieces. Although the French New Wave itself started to peter out in the late 60s, its influence would inspire many of the new American directors, such as Martin Scorsese and Terrence Malick, who would go on to make the 70s a new golden era for American cinema. The highlights I've included in this timeline are just the landmarks that stood out to me personally, but the roots and legacy of the movement are deep, and there are so many filmmakers and works that I haven't even been able to touch on here. So please let me know what your thoughts are on the French New Wave, and who your favourite filmmakers, films and characters were from this great period of film history. Thanks very much, everyone.